everyone, my name is Kate and I am the author of the blog Bookology, where I review books, audiobooks, and adaptations for children, middle grade, and young adults. For those who normally follow my blog, you'll notice that I haven't really posted in a while, and that's because I just recently got back home to Texas from Vancouver, where I finished my master's degree in children's literature. So as you can imagine, my schedule's been pretty busy, what with packing, graduating of course, and moving all my things back home. I intend for this video review to be the first of many, but in the meantime I will be doing posts on my blog as well. Today I will be doing a book review of the YA novel The Dark Missions of Edgar Brim by Shane Peacock. Now this book review is partnered with my friend Emily, who has her own YouTube channel called Page Turns, in which she reviews this book as well. Her blog looks at children's and young adult literature that have horror elements or are in the horror genre, so definitely go check it out. It will be in the link below. Alright, so I'd like to preface this review with a disclaimer. I do not like horror movies. I do not like horror films. I am terrified. However, I did like A Quiet Place. It was a fantastic movie, even if my face was covered half the time. Anyway, I wanted to get a chance to see if I liked horror books any better. Obviously, horror films scare me to death, but book I felt like might be a little less intense. So I felt like Edgar Brim was a good start, and see if that would sort of help me dive into horror books and horror novels. So to start off, this novel is about a boy named Edgar whose father writes horror stories. These stories he tells to Edgar, and those stories give Edgar nightmares that seem to come alive. These nightmares follow him all the way to boarding school, and at that boarding school he discovers that there's another monster he must deal with and face. And he's able to face it with the help of several friends who sort of become detectives and figure out where this monster is, if it's true, if it's a real monster, or if it's just a story. This novel captured me immediately, as there are numerous references to classic horror stories and horror authors, including Bram Stoker, Dracula, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. They talk about hags, werewolves, and so many others. So that immediately grabbed my attention. The author of this novel was able to sprinkle clues about Edgar and about his father throughout the novel, and gave Edgar and the characters a little bit more agency that wouldn't normally be present in a book of this style in the horror or mystery genre, which I felt was really intriguing, and it gave the characters overall some more depth that really added to the story as a whole. Another thing I really enjoyed, and maybe it's attributed to my difficulty in solving mysteries, or finding all the clues that an author leaves for its reader. But I found that this mystery, I couldn't ever really figure out who is behind certain events in the story, and it was difficult for me to be able to see that, and I found it a little bit more engaging as a mystery because I was constantly trying to figure it out, trying to pull all the clues together, piece it together, and come up with who was involved, what the monster really was, all of those things. So I found that really engaging in this particular story. Not to mention the ambiguity of Edgar's nightmares. Are they real? Are they not? We're never really given a clear answer. I think that it's probably real, just because my fantasy tends to be a little bit more interested in reality. Anyway, the novel falls definitely into the horror category, although it does fall into mystery as well. Based on the age of the protagonist, which is 16 or 17 throughout the novel, this book finds itself in the YA category, although middle grade readers might find it interesting if they like horror books. I thoroughly enjoyed this novel and gave it 5 stars on Goodreads. Hopefully this bodes well for horror novels in my future. As I mentioned earlier, I also do reviews on my blog, so make sure to look out for new ones coming up in the following weeks. Hopefully I will get some more video reviews out as well. The link to my blog Bookology will be in the comments below, as well as my Twitter and Instagram handle, which is @litbookology. Please check those out. I will be putting updates as well as just fun photos and interesting facts, all book related and children's related, of course. Along with this video review, I also am making my way through the book Writing Freedom as a narrator. So if you want to check out some of my narrations, I have my first one of the prologue of the book on my YouTube channel right now, and more will be coming soon. I would really appreciate any comments or suggestions or questions that you may have. Just put them in the comments below, and maybe some suggestions on some horror novels that are good for scaredy cats like me. Thanks so much for tuning in.